Okay, so we're about ready to finish up chapter 3. And the last thing we're going to learn about is layer styles. So the first thing you need to do is create a new document. So we are going to go File, New. We're going to name it Layer Styles. We are going to select US paper, which is going to create an 8.5 by 11 inch document. Go ahead and leave the resolution at 300 and the color mode at RGB color and click OK. Alright, now that we have our document open, the first thing we're going to do is add a couple of things. Let's begin by adding our name. So select the Type tool, go ahead and select the font of your choice. Doesn't really matter what you select. Click on the document and type your last name. You want your last name to fill up most of the bottom of the document. So I'm not going to specify a specific size. However, it does need to be fairly large if it is a short name like mine, or it will have to be a smaller font size if it's a longer last name. You can select whatever color you would prefer. When you are through with that, you are going to add an image. Alright, now we're going to do something a little different to get our image this time. I want you to go to a website called Unsplash.com. Once you're at Unsplash.com, then you can scroll down and select the image of your choice. Once you have an image that you would like to use, you're going to click on it and that image will open larger. And then right click on the image and select Copy Image. Again, right click on the image and select Copy Image after you have the image selected. This is a website that has a lot of images that are Creative Commons, or in other words, you can use them for commercial, education, whatever you would like. You'll see that I use a lot of images from this website in your assignments. So I've copied my image and it is on my clipboard. I am going to now go back to Photoshop. And once I'm in Photoshop and I have my document, I'm going to go to Edit, Paste. And my image is pasted onto my document. I'm going to zoom out so that I can see the edges of my entire image. And I am going to select Command T so I can transform it so that I can actually fit it onto my document. You need to center the image onto your document. And hit Enter. Now I'm going to move my name up. And I'm going to actually select the color of my name. I want it to match one of these colors of blue in this image. And so when the color picker panel opened, I used the eyedropper and I selected a color out of the picture. Now I click OK, select my Move tool, and this is what I've got so far. So type in your name where it takes up the majority of the bottom of the page, whatever font you would like to use and whatever font size you need for your name to be prominent. Then go to Unsplash.com, select the image you would like, click on it, it opens, right click on it, select Copy Image, come back to Photoshop, click on your document, and go to Edit and Paste. Paste the image in. Command T to transform the image to a size that fits. Center the image and your name in your document, and make sure your name reflects one of the colors out of the image you selected. Now we're ready to get going on layer styles. If you double click in the layer panel to the right of your layer name, not on the layer name and not on the thumbnail, a panel opens called the Layer Styles panel. And the Layer Styles panel has a lot of different options, such as bevel and emboss, stroke, inner shadow, inner glow, satin, color overlay, gradient overlay, pattern overlay, outer glow, and drop shadow. Now you can do a lot with layer styles, and one thing that is very important to remember is less is more. Just because you can do something does not mean you should. And usually a good rule of thumb is 1 or 2 things at the most out of the Layer Styles panel per document. Double click to the right of the layer that has your name on it. So double click on your text layer, and you are going to add a drop shadow to your name. Now, when you click on these little boxes, it does not always automatically open up the options, and you can click on multiple things, as you can see I am doing here, and I'm getting a lot of different options. If you want to see the actual options for that layer style, you need to click on the name of the layer style, and as you can see, when I click on the names of the layer styles, the panel changes over here. Unclick anything you have checked except for drop shadow. Now, as you can see in the drop shadow, I can adjust my blend modes, my opacity, the angle of the drop shadow. I can adjust the shape of the drop shadow, how much noise there is, the size of it, the spread, the distance, everything else. So let's get going. We're going to leave our drop shadow color at black, but you could select a different color if you so chose. All you have to do is click on the color box. Blend mode is set to multiply, and you can start adjusting the size of the drop shadow by pulling on these sliders. So pull your distance slider, your spread slider, and your size slider out. And so the distance is going to be 17 pixels, the spread 9%, and the size 32 pixels. And you can see the difference by checking and unchecking the box beside the drop shadow name over to the left. I could apply a bevel and emboss if I wanted. I could apply an inner shadow if I wanted. Remember what I said, less is more when it comes to layer styles, and we're still going to apply a layer style to our image. And so this is all I'm going to do with my name layer at this point in time. So now I'm going to click OK, and you'll see over here in the layer panel the effects and which effect I have applied, and I can turn that effect on and off using this little eye icon to the left of effects and drop shadow. If I click next to effects, if I had multiple layer styles, it would turn them all on and off. And then I could individually turn them on and off using the eye icons next to the layer style names. For more information on individual layer styles and what they look like and what they will do, please refer to page 140 in your textbook. Okay, so next you're going to select your image layer. With your image layer selected, double click over to the right of the layer name and the Layer Styles panel opens. We are going to apply a stroke to the image. So click on the word stroke and you'll see a check mark is placed in the box out beside that. Now, a stroke is essentially the outline or frame that is placed around an image, and it is generally a solid color, and the default is black. However, I would like for you to click in the color box. Your color panel opens, and I want you to go and select the same color that you used for your name. So click in your name. You should see that color changed in the color picker panel. Select OK. And now you see the color represented in the fill type. Now, if you wanted a gradient or a pattern, you could select that, but we are going to select and stay with color. Now, you can adjust the size of your stroke by sliding the slider to the right to make the stroke size larger, to the left for smaller. One thing you'll notice is the rounded corners. If you do not want these rounded corners on your stroke, then you will need to select inside and you will get a nice sharp corner. However, it is important to realize that in doing so, you lose part of your image. Adjust the stroke size. We're going to have a stroke size of 25. If you can't get it there using the slider, no worries. All you have to do is highlight in the box to the right and select 25 and type 25. Blend mode is going to be left at normal. You can select dissolve, darken, color burn makes it disappear, linear burn, lighten, screen, linear dodge, lighter color, overlay, hard light, vivid light. Play with these until you find one that you like. And once you find one that you like, that you think represents your image well, then you select the one of your choice. You do not have to pick any particular one, but you do have to change the blend mode from normal to a different one. I am going to use pen light. Now, you can also adjust the opacity of the stroke, which means what you'll be able to see through or not. Leave the opacity set to 100%. If you'll look to the right, you'll see there's a preview checkbox, which you can select or deselect to view the changes live as you're making them to your document. You can cancel by hitting the cancel button, or you can create a complete new style by clicking this new style button. And so let's say this stroke is something that you're going to want to use a lot, then you can save it and rename it and go back to it and not have to re-enter this all the time. I'm going to cancel out of that and click OK. Again, I strongly recommend that you read in the book. You can find out more about managing layer styles on page 143. And this concludes Chapter 3. Don't forget to complete your capstone project and to write a statement of intent and keep track of your capstone processes, tools, and techniques as you're doing them so that you can post those in your activity forum.